Hey guys, Scott here from the Mental Metal channel and mentalmetaldetecting.com. And today I got the WS6 Master out here. We're going to do a little demonstration on how to set up a coin program. I've had a few folks ask me on my Patreon group how to set this up, so I thought I would do a video and just walk you through it. If you hear the little rustle in the background, it's because Rocky is out here with me today. It's a beautiful day here in February. I think it's February 5th or something like that. And temperatures are amazing. So we're outside. He's chewing on a stick. I'll just show you. He's over there. Say, hey, Rocky. We'll just ignore him for now since he's being a good dog. All right, so how to set up this coin program is pretty simple. If you don't have the WS6 Master and you're thinking about getting it, there's a couple things to just be aware of up front. It is a full functioning XP Deus 2. There is no difference in performance. The only downside maybe it would be that the battery life is a little less than your remote or your RC remote. It is not waterproof and it does not have a speaker, so you'll need a pair of headphones, wireless headphones, WSA 2s, WSA 2 XLs. You can get those, Fort Bedford carries all that stuff if you're looking for them. But yeah, those are the only real drawbacks. It's actually a lighter machine when you use the puck only, and so even a lighter XP Deus is amazing. But this is a fully performing XP Deus 2 machine, no doubt at all. A lot of people ask me if you lose depth and things like that, and the answer is no, you do not lose any depth. So let's get into it. A couple things on how to navigate around. That's how you turn it on. Button up in the upper left-hand corner. Check out my quick tips earlier in the week. Focused on the XP Deus 2 WS6 Master with 2 quick tips. All right, so you're going to want to be based out of the general program. That's what this one is set up into right now, is the general program. Now, if you looked at my other coin program setups, originally when the Deus first came out and we were operating under version 7.7 something, I used Park. Now, since then, since the 1.10 setup or update has come out, I am now using the general program. So that's one thing that is a difference. And I know there is a version 2.0 update for the Deus 2. I have not upgraded that to that update. That update is mainly for the XP Extreme Hunter machine. And we are not worried about that. The updates in that program does not impact version 1.1. No, we are not doing this right now. You need to stop. Okay, so version 2.0, the XP Deus, does not impact the coin program here that I'm about to show you. You can run it in either 1.10 or 2.0. It does not matter. The updates for 2.0 really made a difference more for the XP's Extreme Hunter machine, which I do not have, but I don't need to upgrade. So I actually like version 1.1. I think it works really, really well. And for the coin program, that's really all that matters here in this video. So, all right, a couple of things to navigate around. You have 2 buttons on the sides here. You have this one and that one. Those are going to be the 2 ways you're going to get to your options and your settings menu. So to get to your options, because we need to set up something real quick here, just to make sure you guys are tracking, we're going to go into our options. Now, you're going to want to scroll down. If you see a little arrow button by the other button, small little arrow down, that is a long press indicator. So that is something that if you need to go into a submenu underneath this item, that's how you do it. Otherwise, you just do a quick press to scroll through. So we're going to go into the audio type, and I want a long press. Oops, I didn't do it long enough. Oops, get out of that. We do not want to save that. Go through audio and then hold in the settings button. And now you have a volume control here. You can change your volume up and down. You can go into this even more and pick your audio type, which is what I want to show you now. Your audio type is going to be high square. So by default it might come up in PWM. If you're new to this and you're just messing with it for the first time, the audio type I like to use is high square. So that's one thing not out of the way. We can get past that. The other thing, if you scroll down a little bit, there is an option in here. Oh, go back to your audio. Sorry, hold it down again. Audio filter is going to be 0. I don't use any filter on this. You have a 0 to 5 option here. I don't use audio filter hardly at all. Your volume is 4, and that's your audio type. So let's get out of that. Let's get out of that one more time. Oops. The one thing we do want to make sure we have enabled, go back into your settings, my bad. Scroll down until you get the settings. Again, because you have that down arrow, hold in the button. Hello, Daisy. Get out. Get. Daisy's trying to say hello. And keep scrolling down until you get to your FE target ID. That is your iron target ID. And by default, I have that turned off. I do not want that on. It actually has been reported that if you turn that off, the target ID response is a lot quicker. So I don't need it anyway. I don't care what my iron IDs pop up, but I do want to hear them, but I don't want to see them. So we're not going to worry about that right now. So that's it for your options as far as getting this thing prepped and ready for the coin program. So we can get out of here, returning back to the main menu. Now what you want to do, you want to go into your settings menu, and that's this button over here. You hit this, brings you into discrimination. Now for this program, the discrimination is going to be 6.8. To change it, you do your back plus and minus arrows, plus and minus button, sorry. Your discrimination is 6.8. If you scroll down, so we have this other little small arrow down, that means it's a long press if you want to go into the discrimination. We're not going to do that just yet. I want to get all the other stuff knocked out. So let's go through sensitivity. My sensitivity here is going to be set 95. It's already set up that way. My frequency max, my next option is going to be 24. Now you do have by default, it'll show you 40 kilohertz. I do not like using 40 kilohertz. I think the coins hit harder when you use either 24. You can even use 14, but I like to stay around 24. The coins seem to hit harder. Now you will hit them with 40 as well, but I just do believe that 24, it's probably the best setup for coins. All right, so that's your frequency max. Now we're going to go down one more. Your iron volume is default. I think it's 7. I'm keeping it 7 here. I do like to hear the iron in there, but I don't want to hear it too much. So 7's a good balance. Go down one more, reactivity. Now you can do this a couple different ways. You can use a reactivity of 2, which is what I recommend. And if you're into some areas where it's not, where you can actually get away with it and it's not too trashy, you can lower this to 1. You might get a little more depth. All right, so that's your reactivity. Audio response. I use 4. I do not use anything higher than 4 or less than 4. I believe 4 gives you depth perception with those faint signals versus those loud signals that are shallow on the surface. If you turn it to 5, everything's gonna be the same volume. Everything's gonna be the same loudness. So some people like it at 5. I prefer it at 4. So that's again your call. Now let's get back to the discrimination of ground dB. Don't worry about that. Discrimination. Let's do a long press here and go into that. Long press. Now, I'm using a 5-tone program. I think by default it sets it up in 2. I've selected 5. Okay. I just like this program in a 5-tone setup. If we go down the menu a little bit, hit the button again. B caps. I have B caps as off. I don't use it. 0. You can turn it on if you'd like, but I don't use it at all. I feel the less filtering you have, the better. And coming down, notch. I have notch off. I'm not notching anything off here. And your silencer is at 2. All right. So let's go back to discrimination, and we're going to hold in this button again. Until we get back up. Get into your 5 tones option and hold down the button. Now, this is where you set up your tone breaks. Now, I have tone breaks set up at the frequency, which is what you're looking at now. The first thing it sets up is your frequency. My frequency settings for each tone are the following here. The first tone break is going to be at 202 hertz. I'm going to arrow over. My tone break, you're always going to see not the lowest number, but the highest number of the tone break. For this one, specifically for tone break number 1, starts at 0 and ends at 6.8. You'll notice that is the same as my discrimination. That is how this thing works. Your first tone break is always going to be your discrimination. So 0 to 6.8 is your first tone break. Next, arrow over. Now it's going to ask you what your volume is for that tone break. And since I'm using, this is my iron volume, I'm leaving it at 7. All right, I'm not messing with that. I'm going to leave that at 7 because that's fine. I want to hear the iron, but I don't want to hear it too loud. Don't want to hear it too soft. So that's good. That's a good balance right there. If you hit the arrow again, it now puts you into tone break number 2. I have mine set up to be 717 hertz. That's just how I like it to sound. Now if I go over, your tone break here is going to be at 53. That is your high number. Now, a little word of advice. By default, you're only going to be able to go up to 50 on this tone break until you set up the third tone break and raise it. Otherwise, you can't get to 53. So you'll have to go in there and edit the third tone break next. You'll be stuck at 50, but then you can go back later and fix the tone break number 2. So this tone break should be at 53, ends at 53. This is my junk range. If you go to the next one, my volume I've turned down to 5. So leave it at 5 or turn it down to 5. You do not want to hear this range very loudly. This is something you want to just skip over most of the time. None of your coins are going to hit in here usually. I could be wrong, but most of the coins are going to be in a different tone break. Arrow over to tone break number 3. Now this one I have set up to ring a little higher at 872 hertz. It's going to sound really good. This is going to be your nickel range, okay? And your tone break is going to be from 53 to 65 is your range. A very small range, not a very big range. I put a little padding in between. The nickels usually run up between like 60 to 64. I'm finding some of them are ringing up in the high 50s, a little bit higher at 65 at times, but usually they're between 60 and 64. So we build in a little bit of pad there. So from 54 to 65 is where your nickel range is going to be. You will dig some junk in there a little bit, but not a lot. So you'll know when you get a nickel, you'll be able to tell. So next over, your volume for this tone break is going to be 10, the max. You want this ringing loud and proud. All right. Now let's go to the fourth tone break. Tone break number 4 rings up at 672 hertz. This is another small junk range that I really don't want to hear too loud, or I don't want it to be jumping out at me. The tone break stops at 73, so it's going to be from 66 to 73. It's a very small range. The volume on this I've lowered to 6. So again, it's just a small little range. I do not want it jumping out. I do not want it to tell me to stop. I want to hear it, but I don't want to stop my tracks. All right, and then the final tone break is tone break number 5. And this one's going to ring the best and the loudest, or not the loudest, but it's going to sound the sweetest. Your high square tone is going to make this really, really sound good. So 993 is the hertz you've got it set up as. You cannot change the tone break here. It is going to be from 74 to 99. You just can't change it. It won't let you. That's just how it is. Now go over to your tone break volume, and we have this obviously at 10. Now this is where I say go back to tone break number 2 if you could not get it set to 53. This is where you're going to want to come in, and now you can change tone break 2, and your highest number is going to be 53. All right, so that is the tone break setup. And once you're done with all that, you can back out of it. And technically now, that is all you need to do for this coin program. It is now set up. Now what I want to do next is I want to save it. All right, so what you do is you come back to the beginning. Now you're going to want to hit your options, this left-hand button. Hit it once, scroll down till you get to program. You got a long press button. You're going to hold it down. It's going to ask you if you want to save it. You're going to hold it down. You want to replace general. I want to say yes. I'm going to get that checkbox. Now, you're going to notice next to this general program a little icon, little person icon. What that means is you've now saved this off. This does not remove the general default program, by the way. Like some of the other machines out there, you remove, sometimes when you save a custom program, like in the MyLab machines, you lose that default program. So it replaces it. This one, in the Deus 2 and the WS6 Master, you do not do that. Here's why. If you scroll back per one program, you still have general in there. You did not lose it. So it's really nice. You can actually test these programs out back to back. I wish they would put this feature in the RC remote where you could just save it back to back like that. Instead, you have to find an empty slot, save it over, then create another program, save it over, so you have something back to back. Here in the W6 Master, it's really cool. I like it. I like the way they did this. So now you have your saved program is in the next program over. And then you go in, you have your 2 sensitive, 3 sensitive full tones, 4, and so forth. You get the idea. But going back, that is your saved program. And it's in there. You don't have to worry about losing it. So that is really how you set this program up. It's pretty straightforward, pretty easy. I've been wanting to do this for you. A couple people have been asking about it. So here's how you get around and plug in those numbers and tone breaks and set everything up. I hope this was helpful, and please let me know. Leave me a comment, share, like, and subscribe to the Mental Metal channel. Join me over on Patreon. We have a lot of new members over on Patreon. It just keeps growing and growing. So join us over there. If you don't want to join us on Patreon, I do have the YouTube memberships open as well. You can join there and get all my content early. There are a few more perks in Patreon, though, but if you want to just keep it simple, feel free to check out the YouTube memberships and be a part of that. All right, that's all I got going on. Oh, and by the way, if you were looking for a WS6 Master headphones or anything for the XP Deus 2, if I can get it out, reach out to my friends over at Fort Bedford Metal Detectors and tell them the Mental Metal channel sent you. They will do their best to hook you up. They're a good business, and I gotta go see what Rocky's doing behind me now. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another Mental Metal video.